You're watching Disney Channel. Okay, so there's a new show on Netflix right now. It's called Who Killed Sara? I didn't want to watch it, honestly, because like I looked at it and it looked very Pretty Little Liars-esque, very like, oh, we're gonna be in season 7 and turns out Sara was actually alive this entire time. She faked her deaths because she wanted to get out of the math test or some nonsense like that. Look, so the way the story starts, Sara, she was on a boat with her brother, Alex, her boyfriend, Pinocchio. I don't remember his name, we call him Pinocchio. What's it called? Pinocchio's brother, Kema, and a worker, and then this other dude. Lots of names, lots of faces, doesn't matter, just keep going with me. They're on the boat, and then they're like, let's go parasailing. Cause like, Alex and Sara, they're poor, right? And they met Pinocchio at a gym, cause like Alex is like a gym trainer or something like that. And so Pinocchio saw Sara and he was like, so now they're all besties. They all like, they've been together for a long time. The rich people like are friends with the poor people. They're all hanging out, whatever. They're on the boat. Everything's great. It's not great. So Sara and them are on the boat parasailing. I'm saying parasailing because whatever water sport they actually were doing is outside of my tax bracket. I don't understand it. Something, parachute in the water connects to the boat. Something. Water stuff. So she's up high. And then for some reason the ropes that is connected to her snaps and she falls to her death and plummets into the ocean. Here's where it gets real juicy. So obviously she's dead, but they take her to the hospital and the hospital people are like, we're trying. And then she dies at the hospital and then Alex, her brother, is distraught and he blames the boyfriend because the boyfriend was the one who like put her in the jacket thing or something like that. And when she was freaking out up there because like she could feel the rope snapping and everything, he was drunk and Alex turned to him and was like, bro, slow the boat down, like issues are happening. And he went, did you say slow down? Let's go faster. And like made the boat go faster, and then when it went super fast, that's when she dropped to her death. So he thinks it's his fault, Alex thinks it's his fault, everyone like for some reason think it's his fault. Rich dude's parents goes up to Alex and they're like, Alex, we're rich, and you know, we've loved you like a son, so like a son is part of our family, help this family to have our other son not go to jail. You take the fall and you only be in jail for like, bro, like 2 weeks 2 months at the most, a month and a half. I promise. Remember, Alex is poor and his sister's dead. Like this, like literally like two days after she died, or like the day after she died. And they were, and like the rich dude's dad was like, okay, dude, I promise. Like you take the fall, say it was you that like put her in the thing, and it'll just be like negligence or something, manslaughter by accident. You're in there for a month and a half and you saved my son. Nah, it wouldn't be me. Couldn't catch me doing that, I promise. But what they did is that they also told him like, oh, if you do this, we'll take care of your mom, because Alex's mom was super duper sick. So they're like, oh, we'll get her the best doctors in Mexico, like everything will be chill and great, amazing. Like, so say you did it. And Alex is like, well, you guys are my family and we're friends. So, and I trust you, so I'll do it. So he goes to court and he says he did it. And then the judge is like, nah, this wasn't an accident. You planned to kill her. And I'm sitting there like, wait, what? And everyone went, wait, what? So for some reason, the jury, they're like, no, because the ropes and stuff were like intentionally cut. It wasn't an accident. This is a homicide. And you actually had planned to kill Pinocchio, the Sara's boyfriend, but you killed your sister by accident because Pinocchio had impregnated Sara, because Sara was pregnant when she died. I know. And I'm sitting there like, I remember I watching, I was like, how does that make any sense? So because of that, they're like, okay, no, this is a homicide, you get 30 years in jail. Boost. I literally was like, excuse me? And then so Alex being like pulled away and he's like, wait, whoa, guys, friends, hello. Because like, I need you to understand, Pinocchio and Pinocchio's brother, Kema, were like, Kema was his best friend. Like, he loves these people. They like grew up together. They're supposed to be family. And they literally were sitting there like, they did nothing. And he gets put into jail. And then he's in jail and I think it's like a month passes and like, oh no, months pass. A long time passed. It's like 8 months. And then his lawyer comes to see him again. And he's like, hey bro, like, has rich dude, I'm sorry, rich dude's name is like Caesar. He's like, has Caesar said anything? Like, I was only supposed to be here for 2 months. Like, my mom's sick, she's alone. Like, I need to make sure that she's being taken care of. Lawyer dude, like, literally stops, like, looks up, he's like, oh, your mom. They didn't tell you? She died last Monday.
Ooh.
Anyway, bro, it gets even worse. Because then you see these random flashbacks where, like, he's getting beaten up in prison. Like, they're beating the crap out of him. He has like scars on his back from when they like threw oil on his back or something. At one point there's a scene where they beat him up and one person like pees on his face. And I'm telling you, this entire time, Kema, Pinocchio, Cesar, nothing. They don't do nothing, they don't say nothing, they don't visit him, they don't send him money, they don't put money on his books, they don't, nothing. Guess how long this boy stays in prison? Guess how long this boy's in prison before he gets out? This man serves 18 years in prison before he's out on good behavior. And then when he gets out on good behavior, that's when like Cesar and like the rich people are alerted and they're like, hey, guess you should know, Alex is getting out of prison. And of course Alex, when he gets out, he's like talking to his lawyer and his lawyer's like, okay, so like maybe you can like go into woodworking or something, I don't know, because you're an ex-con, so you don't really have a life anymore. And Alex is like, no, I'm gonna get revenge. I'm gonna destroy the people that killed my sister, put me in jail, and let my mom die alone. And the lawyer's like, whoa, kind of aggressive there. But like, here's my thing that I think is really, really funny that they don't address at all. So like I said, Alex has been in prison for the last 18 years. So when he first got to prison, I think he's like maybe like 19, 18. So he's like 30 something at this point. And he like, maybe he went to college, maybe he was just in college, but like this, when he gets out, this man is like, I'm talking James Bond level, CSI Miami, MacGyver, like technologically advanced. It doesn't even make sense. He's like hacking into mainframes and like he's like rerouting cameras and I'm like, what did they do in the Mexican prisons? Because like, what are you learning this stuff from? Also on top of that, he like befriends this like older criminal who for some reason has like millions of dollars like just out on the outside. So the criminal was like, when you get out, take this key, go to this lockbox, and this will help you to have a new life and get revenge on the people who hurt you. So when it's the first thing he does when he gets out, he goes to the lockbox. It's filled with money and jewels and like jewelry and like just so he has just imagine an unlimited budget. He immediately buys like a couple computers and like some tracking devices and like a bunch of technology stuff, and he goes to his house and he creates like this whole like mainframe headquarters spot to like mess with his family. I don't remember the family name, so let's call them the Smiths. And he like creates like a cork board. I'm not even kidding, but like the faces of all of them, and he puts like a X through their eyes and crap. Like literally, like he's like I'm gonna get these people. So he gets out. And this is what he does. He hacks into the mainframe cameras for a casino. That's a casino that like the family is opening up, and it's like their opening night for this casino. And he like hacks into all the cameras, and he gets in front of a camera, so they see him. And he's like, "This family, they're murderers. Okay, meanie bobinis. These guys, they killed my sister. Mean people." Cesar, who's like the leader of the dad, he gets pissed and he's like, this guy's gonna come after us, I'm gonna come after him. He hires the police to go to Alex's house and shoot the place up. Yes, shoot it up. AK-47s, like a bunch of police over, they come in, shoot the place up. Then they come in and they beat the crap out of Alex, and Alex on the floor like blood in his mouth, and they're like, and then they call Cesar and they're like, should we finish him off? And Cesar's like, nah, leave him. That was our welcome back to town gift or something. And then they leave, and I'm just like, okay, let's go back. First of all, I feel like it's rude that they even left him in jail for 18 years. I feel like if I'm an evil villain and I don't actually care about Alex and like I'm going to like screw him over to save my son, I'm gonna have him killed in prison. Why wouldn't I have him killed in prison? Why would I let him get out and then come mess with me and do whatever? But like, let's say even if he didn't have like these amazing James Bond level like technological gifts or whatever, he can still do and say a bunch of stuff that'll mess with me and my company, whatever like that. I'm not letting this man get out. And then when he does get out, it doesn't make any sense that he was like, oh, I just wanted to warn him with these gunshots. What are gunshots warnings? Did you send him a text message like, hey, you better duck? Like what? Like he just so happened to like be able to like ducked down quickly enough to not get shot in the head with these multiple bullets of running through his home. You could have killed him. And how would you explain that? Here's the thing. So like I told you, it's Alex, right? Alex's sister. She's the one who's dead. She was dating Pinocchio, and then Pinocchio's brother's Kema, and Kema was Alex's best friend, right? There's another kid who was really young. So they all were like maybe college age or something like that. There's another girl, I think her name is Elise. She was like 5. So she's younger, she's like 15 years younger than everyone, right? So she doesn't know Alex at all. She doesn't know anything about Sarah or any of that stuff because she was too young. They never told her, they never talked about it. After Alex went to prison, they just stopped talking about this altogether. When she's at the casino opening, she's there because she's on break right before she goes start grad school. And she's like, wait, what's going on? Why is this man saying that we're all murderers? Who's Sarah? Someone want to tell me something? And everyone's like, shut up, Elise. Except Kema kind of tells her a little bit for half a second, but then not really. And she's like, cool. So then she decides to look up Alex's address and go to his house. So she was there when the police shot his house up. And then she, for some reason, decides, let me go inside. So after the police leave, after beating the crap out of him, she goes inside, sees Alex on the floor, sees the pictures of her family that's up on the wall, like, all whatever. And she goes, this is weird. And then takes him to the hospital. And then when she's at the hospital, he's like, Alex like wakes up and he's like, who are you? And she's all, Maria. And he's like, what's your last name? She's like, I don't have a last name. So, and he's like, why are you at my house? And she goes, I was on a walk. And he goes, okay. And for some reason, she thinks that that's believable and that he has no idea who she is. Obviously, he knows who she is. So they keep doing flashbacks from like the present to the past, present to the past, present to the past, and you find out way more stuff. And like, honestly, I feel really bad for Alex and Sarah because I honestly bring it all back to rich people, the Smiths family. They are the crazy ones. They are the weirdos. They're the ones who made everything way worse than it needs to be. They are the problem. Because you also find out that Kema, he's gay, right? He was in love with Alex. And there was one point where he like somehow talked Alex into having a threesome with him and the girl. And then in the middle of the threesome, Alex and the girl are like, it's very weird. It's a very weird scene. Sorry, my camera died. Where was I? Threesome made me uncomfortable. So, Kema is in love with Alex, and that's all great, that's all fine. Here's the problem though, Alex is not gay. But Alex, honestly, his reaction to when Kema told him, it was like right after the threesome, because Kema tried to reach for some things he shouldn't have tried to be reaching for, and Alex was like, hey yo bro, what? Here's the problem though. So that was 18 years ago in the past, right? It is the present. Kema is in a whole other relationship with this other dude. Like they're trying to have like a surrogate. They're trying to have a kid together. Like they're a very serious relationship. However, he's still very much obsessed with Alex, which I think is a problem, and I also think is very fake. Because how can you be in love with / obsessed with someone who you let just rot in jail for literally 20 years? I'm not even, it's like, it's bad. Like there's a scene where he's laying in bed with his boyfriend, and he like pulls out his phone, and he has old pictures of Alex and him together. Old pictures of just Alex. And he's just literally in bed with his boyfriend, and just looking like, oh baby, I remember, oh you looking so good. I don't know like the legalities or the creepiness of that, because at this point, like I said, like Kema, Alex, Pinocchio, they're like late 30s, 40s, I think. But he's looking at pictures of like an 18-year-old boy. But like that was like from when he was in his past. So it's like, is it? To make matters even worse, this is literally a scene that I wanted to, I had to like press pause, like walk out of the room and come back because it was so uncomfortable for me. Oh my god. When they were at the lake house, so the weekend that Sarah died, he went, okay, so Kema videotaped a lot of random things all the time, and like okay, I'm sorry. There is a point where he saw Alex going into the shower. So he goes and he videotapes Alex in the shower. And while he is videotaping Alex in the shower, he decides to entertain himself in a physical manner. while he is entertaining himself in a physical manner, that's when Sara walks up, and Sarah's like, "Bro, what?" I guess you have to applaud Kemma's boldness, because this man was like washing him in the shower from like behind a FICA. Like it wasn't like he wasn't really hiding, he was just kind of standing there. So I guess he's bold. So he and Sara had beef because this is before he told Alex that he was gay. And Sara was like, "Bro, why are you literally like watching my brother in the shower and like pleasuring yourself? What the hell is this?" It like honestly, I think I've heard some people that have taken this kind of like Sara being homophobic, but like it's not in any way. It's literally like, what are you doing? You're being very weird and like very not okay towards my brother. And so she kind of goes like, "Oh, what if I told your dad? What if your dad found out that you're a homo, blah blah blah." And then Kemma does not take well to this, and he kind of fights her at some point. But so it kind of gives the intrigue of like, wait, who killed Sara? Because like there's a lot of people that have a lot of different reasons to want to kill her. Because then you also find out that she was cheating on Pinocchio. Yeah, with Pinocchio's dad. Yeah. So then you kind of think, oh, did Pinocchio's dad have her killed? Because maybe because you find out the baby that she was pregnant with, is it Pinocchio's? Is it Cesar's? Like, I don't know. But then you're like, oh wait, did Pinocchio's mom know about this? Did Pinocchio's mom kill her? Because so like I told you, there's a lot happening. So going back to the present again, Elise, the youngest sister, right? I don't know their ages. I think it's actually smarter than that they didn't try to actually point out how old people are, because I think it would just make people uncomfortable, / wouldn't really make a lot of sense. Because like I said, she was too young 20 years ago to really understand what's going on. But how old is she now that she's dating Alex? Because I know you're thinking, dating Alex? Where'd that happen? Yeah, so for some reason she decides that she hates her whole family and that she's gonna help Alex take them down. So she's sleeping with him and then giving him information and like getting him into businesses and stuff like that that he needs to get into so that he can take down the family. Now, I'm not saying that she's wrong to do that, because obviously Alex was supremely screwed over by her family. Completely get that. But here's my thing. That's literally your family. How is it so easy for you to like completely turn on them and not even try to work with them in any way? Cool. Awesome. So that's happening. On the other side of this, Pinocchio is married to this woman, Sophia, right? And literally he doesn't love Sophia. He's still obsessed with Sara. He like will have dreams and like have nightmares because he goes like running and swimming and stuff. And every morning he'll have like a nightmare that he'll see like Sarah's like mangled body because he like blames himself still. To the point where he literally went and got a vasectomy. And his wife doesn't know that she's trying to have a baby. He's not. He went and had a vasectomy because he's like, no, Sara died with my baby inside of her and that's the only kid I'll ever have. Yeah. Pinocchio's dramatic. And so he hasn't told his wife, so his wife's trying to have a baby with him, but she can't. And so he also has a stepson. I feel bad for this kid. He's honestly, him and Alex are the only people in the entire show where I'm like, I really like you. Actually, him, Alex, and Kemma's boyfriend. Those are 3 people where I'm like, I feel like he has to really deserve what's going on right now. Because I understand that Alex is trying to take down this family, but the way that the rich Cesar reacts to everything Alex does is like a crazy person. Because I need to understand, all Alex has done at this point is like hack into some videos and be like, yeah, they're mean. And he literally sent a squadron of goons to shoot up his house and beat him half to death after like his mother dying squalor and putting him in jail for 18 years. Don't really add up to me. So the step grandson, at the very beginning, you see that there's a scene where Cesar took him hunting and like they're hunting deer. And the stepson sees that it's a deer that has a little baby. So it's literally Bambi is happening right now. And he's like, wait, let's kill something else. Cause like what the baby, like it's his mom. And then Cesar loses it. And he's like, I don't want any more gay people in my family. And then like takes the gun and like shoots the deer in the head. Yeah, I also was like, are you okay? He's not okay. He's really, really mad that Kemma's gay. He thinks that Kemma is ruining his life by being gay because he's like, you can't take over a company if you like men. Ew. Which like, it really doesn't affect your business prowess, but like, okay, go off. Because he actually wanted Kemma to take over the company after him. He doesn't want Pinocchio to take over. but he's like, Pinocchio has to because Kevin's gay. So he like is trying to force and make sure that the stepson doesn't do any gay things, like not murder mothers of babies, you know? How horrible. So further along in this vein, for some reason, so I need to understand this step grandson, his grandkid is like 13, 14 years old. He's a child. For some reason, Cesar thinks that it's a good idea. Okay, so at one point he's at school and someone leaks pictures that are like Photoshop pictures of like their whole family and like writes murderers across it, and like everyone in their school are like laughing at him like, ah, your family's a family of murderers, which I think is the weirdest thing to bully someone about. Also, why would I bully anyone about that? I just feel like if I want to keep myself like not in danger, I'm not gonna bully a murderer. If I think someone murdered someone, I'm not gonna be like, ah, you kill people. Like I don't think maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm crazy. So he gets bullied in school and he gets mad, so he beats someone up. And then Cesar is like, okay, you wanna be a real man? Come with me. Then you find out that Cesar's businesses aren't really above board. This is where it gets weird too, because he owns like a bunch of businesses. His casino that he's opening is like one of the brand new of his many things that he owns. You find out that the casino, the main attraction of it is a brothel. But not just a regular brothel, it's like brothel full of sex slaves that are like all from like Russia or something like that. So they don't speak English and they don't speak Spanish. And they're all literally forced to like be doing what they're doing. So what he decides is that once his grandson gets in trouble at school for getting into a fight and wants to be a real man, he's going to have him lose his virginity to a prostitute. Not a prostitute, a sex slave. So you see how the mind works of this crazy rich dude. And you see why this is very concerning. So he like makes him come with him to the bottom of the casino to where all the sex slaves are, and then picks his favorite one out. And he's like, hey yo, come here, girly. And then she's like, okay. And he's like, you're gonna have sex with this kid now. And she's like, okay, because she has no choice. And then puts them in a room together. And then the little kid, because he's like, no, don't touch me. But she doesn't speak English, she doesn't speak Spanish. So he keeps being like, no. And she's like, doesn't understand. So finally he like has to like push her and be like, he's like, no, stop. I don't want that. Which very much hated that entire scene. He hates what's happening. And so then once she realizes that he like is a good person, or whatever, she's like, help me. But she says it in like her language, and he's sitting there like, okay, like, no entiendo, like, I don't speak Russian. And then she's finally able to say it in like English, where she's like, help me. And he's like, help me. Oh God. So now he's 13, and he has to figure out how to help one of his grandfather's sex slaves. I don't know what he's gonna do. His grandfather, Cesar, remember he's the same dude who hired the police to shoot up Alex from getting out of jail, because he's himself, is on top of all of this, because he's this type of person, he also is sleeping with Pinocchio's wife. Yes, his step-grandson's mother. All a day's work, I guess. I guess he just is really into sleeping with his son's girlfriends. Because remember, he slept with Sara, and you don't know if Sara's kid was his or Pinocchio's. So this is what he does. What he does. So then you find out that there's another person. So the person who's the manager of the entire casino, he used to be like a butler or like a servant shoe shiner for the family, but he has something to do with Sara's death also. And after Sara died and they put Alex in prison, they like promoted him up to be this casino manager. What does he have to do with it though? So Elise, because she's annoying, and she thinks that she's like the moral, I don't know why she doesn't understand that she's in danger, but she's annoying and she's in danger. She decides to go to Alex's house and search his house. This is before like her and Alex get together. So she's just like, I'm gonna search it. And I'm just like, I don't know. In your mind, you think this is a random dude who's gonna like try to destroy your entire family because they screwed him over, and you think that it's good for you to go alone at night and sneak into his house? Okay, so she goes into his house, because this is his old house, like his old family home before he was put into prison. So Sara's room has been untouched. And she starts searching Sara's room, and she sees Sara's diary. And that's when she's reading it, and she realizes that like she was pregnant because she had a picture of her ultrasound in her diary. And then, but also in her diary, in it says that she told the guy who was the shoe shiner, who's now the manager of the casino, she told him everything. how she was sleeping with Cesar, how she was pregnant, how she was like scared and confused. Cause like honestly, I don't really know if she wanted to be in a relationship with Cesar or she felt like pressured. But also, I'm very confused by Cesar because like, why are you into children? Okay, this isn't something that I've never understood ever. Like, cause people will be like, oh no, guys are into younger girls. But I don't understand how a guy can be like into a grown woman like Nicki Minaj, but then also look at Sky Jackson and be like, I'm really into her too. I mean, I might be wrong by Sky Jackson. I don't know how old she is. I think she's like 16. But I mean in the sense of like, look at them, they're very, very different. One of them's a grown woman, one of them's a child. How are you into both of these people? They're very, very different. So, but he is. So I guess let him have that. So she told the Sue Shiner dude everything. And he is not having a good time with it right now. It's all coming up to a head for him. But that doesn't make sense to me either because literally everyone, like think about it, everyone in the family, right? Pinocchio, Kemma, the mom, Cesar, they're all having issues now with the whole Sara thing, but they have not cared for the last 20 years. It's only now that Alex is out of jail, they're like, oh, wait, Alex. And like they all confuse the heck out of me because like I said, Kemma is out here looking at his old pictures of Alex that like he still has on his phone. And I need you to understand that this is 20 years ago. So that means that let's say he had an iPhone or let's say he has like a regular cell phone 20 years ago. He put those pictures on his phone. He's put it on every single phone he's had since then. And on top of that, he's kept the tapes. At one point, he burns all of the tapes because like Alex was asking for him. But like before that, there's a very uncomfortable scene again where he's at home and he pulls out the tape when he was entertaining himself physically while he was watching Alex shower. That tape, he pulls that tape out and he watches it. And then his boyfriend walks in, his boyfriend's like, wait, what are you? And then he like runs out and his boyfriend's like, hey, why were you, what's wrong? Are you okay? Like, what are you doing in there? And he's like, oh, I was doing yoga. And he's like, you were doing yoga in jeans? Come on, porfa, please, stop this. So, everyone's sketch, everyone's uncomfortable. I don't like any of them except like the three I mentioned. Also the mom honestly is the worst one because high key, I think she killed Sara. I think it was her who killed Sara. And because she knew that she was pregnant with Cesar's kid. The shoe shiner told her. I don't know why you would do that. I feel like that's a great way to put someone in danger because like literally I feel like he knows it's also his fault because he like kind of helped Sara not be alive anymore. But like because like she does like this weird like, I'm not Catholic, I'm Christian, which is like, for people who don't know the difference, it's like kind of like Protestant and like Catholic. Catholic is kind of like old school Christianity, like they and like the Protestant Christianity is like the remix. So we don't really do a lot of the saints and all like the Hail Marys and the Pope, that's not us. But for Catholic people, there is like this part of like, I think it's kind of like you are punishing yourself to make up for sins and stuff like that, but it's like a physical punishment. So she has like this belt that's like a solid gold belt with like nails in it that she like ties around her thigh and wears every day, and it like cuts up her thigh every day. And like she'll like tighten it and be like every day. And of course you think like, oh, it's because she's guilty because she killed two people, Sara and Sarah's unborn baby. No, at one point she had a confessional and she's like, I'm guilty that I don't feel guilty. Okay. And at one point, Elise gets a meeting with Alex to meet with Cesar's accountant because you have to remember, if a super evil guy is doing super evil stuff in a bunch of different evil ways, the one person who could probably really help you with what the evil stuff he's doing is his accountant because his accountant is the one who's doing the math and all this stuff. Tell me why he goes to meet this man in like a subway parking lot for some reason, and right when the accountant gets out of his car, he is hit by an SUV. It mows him over like a cookie at breakfast. That does not make any sense, but that guy is dead. And then you find out, guess who's driving the car? Shoe shiner! Yeah! Who told him to do that? How'd that happen? Honestly, I blame Elise for that because she was really dumb with how she set up the meeting. She like just walked into the office and was just started yelling about how there's someone you need to meet. Listen to me, or whatever. She's herself. So where I'm at right now, Shoe Shiner just ran up on stage during like opening night for the casino, and he has a gun. and he's waving it around, and then he put it to his head and he shot himself. Because he couldn't deal with the stress and the guilt of it anymore, of everything that was going on. And at first you'd be like, oh, I feel bad, but I don't. Because once again, I'd like to remind the audience at home, Alex was in jail for 18 years. He did nothing wrong. They let him literally be charged with his own sister's murder when they knew he had nothing to do with it. And then to top it all off, they just let him suffer there. They didn't even try to take care of his mom. His mom died destitute and alone, sick and suffering. They didn't put money on his books. They didn't visit him. They didn't send him like nothing. They just there was like, I don't know. So I have no sympathy for any of them. Not at all. So, but the people I do feel bad, remember, let's go back through this list. Alex, obviously, he was peed on. I can't, I'll never move past it. Never past it. He doesn't deserve this. Kema's boyfriend, because he doesn't know that his boyfriend is obsessed with, I guess, the idea of a boy from 20 years ago. And then the stepson. Which now I'm thinking about it, is just all of the poor people that are being roped together into these rich people nonsense that have no idea the depth of nonsense that's going on. Because at least the stepson and Alex have an idea of how crazy and depraved this family is. Kema's boyfriend has no idea. I hope he finds out before they have a kid together, because it's about to get real weird. Oh my god. So I stopped it here because I really want you guys to be able to watch the show yourself. So where I stopped about episode 6, I think there is like 10 or so in the season. It's good. It's so interesting. I don't know what's going to happen next. I really do believe though that it was the mom, because Pinocchio was so broken up and obsessed about Alex's death, Sarah's death to now. Kema is just fake. I don't think he killed Sarah. Cause like, I just think he's a fake dude. I just think he's fake. I don't even know if he knows how fake he is, but he's fake. I don't think Cesar did it either, cause he was really, really into Sarah. And also, if he had known that Sarah had his baby, I don't think he would have killed her. And of course, Alex didn't do it. And Elise was like 6, so that literally leaves the mom. Yeah, so Who Killed Sarah? Great show. You should watch it. Practice your Spanish.